वेरी वॉर्म वेलकम टू LWS। आज हम बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट सेगमेंट स्टार्ट करने जा रहे हैं, दैट इज इंडियन पॉलिटी। सो आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अप द एंटायर पॉलिटी विद यू इन दिस सीरीज जो आज मैं स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ। एंड जहाँ से हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन स्टार्ट होती है वहीं से हम अपनी पॉलिटी की भी शुरुआत करने वाले हैं। तो लेट अस स्टार्ट, राइट? दैट इज द preamble. The preamble, right? Preamble के बारे में आज हम at length डिस्कशन करेंगे। पॉलिटी में I will try to cover each and every part of your syllabus, right? Indian polity जो GS का एक subject है, so that is what I'm going to start off with today. So I hope you will really enjoy this journey with me of Indian polity, and I also hope that आपके मन में जब भी कोई सवाल आता है, कोई डाउट आता है, समथिंग इज नॉट क्लियर और यू वांट मी टू टेक अप एनी स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक रिलेटेड टू करंट अफेयर्स जो इंडियन पॉलिटी से रिलेटेड है, या कोई ऐसा स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक जो आप वर्क कर रहे हैं एंड यू नॉट एबल टू गेट थ्रू इट, तो यू कैन जस्ट लीव दोज थिंग्स इन द कमेंट सेक्शन एंड आई विल रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन इट, एंड उसके ऊपर मैं वीडियो अलग से बना दूँगी, राइट? सो प्लीज़ be more interactive. Please do write your comments below so that I can take up the best sections for you, and we can just cover it entirely and in the best possible manner. ठीक है? तो आपकी cooperation, आपकी support मुझे बहुत ज़रूरी चाहिए, right? So let us begin with the preamble. So preamble हम सबको पता है कि it is a very important part of the constitution. So for all those who are just beginning your preparation, you should understand that Indian polity एक बहुत ही important या अहम हिस्सा है आपकी GS की preparation का, and you should cover it very very thoroughly. Okay? तो मैं हर एक टॉपिक जो भी आपके साथ डिस्कस करने वाली हूँ, मे बी वो एक ही उसमें कवर हो, एक ही वीडियो में कवर हो, या आई विल ट्राई टू स्प्लिट इट अक्रॉस डिफरेंट वीडियोज, बट आई विल इंश्योर दैट ईच एंड एवरी टॉपिक इट इज डिस्कस्ड एट लेंथ। ओके? तो ये जो सीरीज है इंडियन पॉलिटी की, आप हमेशा थंबनेल्स में देखना, स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द वीडियोस में देखना कि उसके नीचे लिखा रहेगा इंडियन पॉलिटी। सो whenever you want to scroll or you want to search for any topic under this series, just look for that Indian polity, नीचे ऊपर स्टार्टिंग में लिखा रहेगा, so that will make it easier for you to search these topics, right? So let us begin with the preamble. Now preamble is the first part of the starting of the constitution. It is the beginning, it is present at the beginning of the constitution, right? तो preamble है क्या, right? It is, what is the preamble? ठीक है? So पहले हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं what is the preamble. अगर मैं broadly बताऊं तो preamble is an introductory statement. It is an introductory statement that it is an introductory statement, right? It is an introductory statement, that is introductory से क्या है? Starting का statement, right? That embodies the philosophy of the document, of the constitution, या फिर the document, right? So the preamble is basically an introductory statement to our constitution that embodies the philosophy of the entire document, of the entire constitution. So you have to remember that it is an introductory statement. अब क्योंकि ये introductory statement है, so that means it is present at the beginning. It is present at the beginning of the Constitution of India. Okay? So it embodies all the fundamental values, all the fundamental values and principles. It embodies all the fundamental values and principles on which our constitution is based. ठीक है, हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में इट्स द लॉन्गेस्ट डॉक्यूमेंट वी ऑल नो, बहुत लंबी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, लेकिन वो सारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जिन वैल्यूज़ के आधार पे, जिन प्रिंसिपल्स के आधार पे बनी हुई है, उन सब का निचोड़ इट लाइज इन द प्रीएम्बल, उन सब का एसेंस लाइज इन द प्रीएम्बल, राइट? So you need to remember that preamble is an introductory statement, ठीक है, जिसमें सारी philosophy, सारे values, सारे principles of the constitution are contained, right? Because it is said that when somebody wants to study the entire constitution, somebody is, because Indian constitution is the longest constitution of the world, so when somebody wants to study the entire constitution, it will take a long time. So for that person, if he or she wants to get a small idea, या उसको एक concise idea लगाना है कि constitution कैसा है इंडिया का, right? What kind of constitution does India have? So that can be done by reading the preamble. सिर्फ preamble के पढ़ने से एक इंसान को ये idea हो सकता है, a precise idea and a concise idea. Precise मतलब accurate, concise मतलब छोटा, राइट? इन ब्रीफ, छोटा नहीं, ब्रीफ. सो ब्रीफ आइडिया लग सकता है दैट ये जो इतना बड़ा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डॉक्यूमेंट है ये कैसा होने वाला है, इसका वैल्यू सिस्टम क्या है, इसकी फिलॉसफी क्या है, या ये किन प्रिंसिपल्स पे बेस्ड है. सो दैट इज व्हाई प्रीएम्बल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो कई लोगों ने प्रीएम्बल को ये भी कहा है दैट इट इज एन इंट्रोडक्शन. It is an introduction to our constitution, right? Some people have said that it is a preface to the constitution. Some have said that it is a summary of the constitution. It is the summary of the constitution, and like मैंने पहले भी बताया that it is an essence. एसेंस, राइट? अब एसेंस मतलब इस सारे प्रीएम्बल में द एंटायर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का जो एसेंस है, जो उसका मेन आइडिया है, वो यहाँ से हमें पता चल जाता है. सो दैट इज द इम्पोर्टेंस, दैट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ प्रीएम्बल फॉर आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, फॉर आवर कंट्री. सो हमेशा प्रीएम्बल हम देखते हैं बहुत से बुक्स में लिखा रहता है, द फर्स्ट पेज ऑफ ऑल द NCERTs यूजुअली कैरीज द प्रीएम्बल. सो उसका प्राइमरी रीज़न यही है कि जो हमारे आने वाली जनरेशन्स हैं, जो स्टूडेंट्स बड़े हो रहे हैं, दे आर वेल अवेयर ऑफ द बेसिक वैल्यूज, ऑफ द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स, ऑफ द फिलॉसफी ऑन विच द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन स्टैंड्स. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाई प्रीएम्बल इज वेरी वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट. आपको एक चीज़ और याद रखनी है इसके साथ, राइट? आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू इरेज दिस पार्ट, दैट जो फर्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन थी अमेरिकन, जो फर्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन थी जिसका प्रीएम्बल था, द फर्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन टू हैव अ प्रीएम्बल वाज द अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ओके, द फर्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन टू हैव अ प्रीएम्बल, फर्स्ट टू हैव a preamble, the first constitution to have a preamble was the American Constitution, right? So another very important update or a very important point about the preamble, right? So हमें क्या पता चला? Preamble is an introductory statement that embodies the philosophy of the entire constitution, right? So meaning that if somebody wants to have a concise idea about what kind of constitution do we have, so that person can go and read the preamble. Okay, because it was so important, because of its significance to the constitution, because of its importance to our country, different eminent people of different times, they have given their opinions, they have given their viewpoints, they have given their statements regarding the significance of the preamble. तो कुछ वो एक statements हैं, कुछ prominent statements हैं, कुछ eminent लोगों की, जिनको अब हम डिस्कस करेंगे या जिनको मैं आपको बताऊंगी, विच यू शुड नो. ओके, that can be a part of your creed. So the first person, इसको erase कर देती हूँ so that this part is eminently clear. Viewpoints. ठीक है? The first person जिनका हम viewpoint लेंगे that is N.A. Palkhiwala. He was an eminent jurist. He was an eminent jurist, and he has said that preamble is an identity card. Preamble is an identity card of our constitution. अब देखो इसकी गहराई देखो. प्रियम्बल इज एन आइडेंटिटी कार्ड. हमारी आइडेंटिटी कार्ड हमें जहाँ भी हम पढ़ते हैं, जहाँ भी हम काम करते हैं, वहाँ पे हमें आइडेंटिटी कार्ड्स इशू होते हैं, राइट. लाइक वी ऑल ऑफ अस वी हैव आधार कार्ड्स, दे आर आइडेंटिटी कार्ड्स. हमें जहाँ भी अपनी आइडेंटिटी का प्रूफ देना होता है वी गिव आवर आधार कार्ड्स, क्योंकि वो हमारी पहचान है. सो लाइकवाइज giving the same kind of importance or placing the same kind of importance on the preamble, he said that preamble हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की पहचान है. इट इज द आइडेंटिटी कार्ड ऑफ आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो दैट इज द इम्पोर्टेंस people or experts or eminent people they have placed on the preamble. ठीक है? Then we have number 2 जिनकी हम बात करेंगे वो है K.M. मुंशी. काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट फ्रीडम फाइटर रहे हैं, काफ़ी सक्रिय थे हमारी फ्रीडम फाइट मूवमेंट में. इन्होंने कहा है दैट प्रियम्बल इज द हॉरोस्कोप. इट इज द हॉरोस्कोप ऑफ आवर सॉवरेन डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक. ओके, जैसे अब हॉरोस्कोप हमें, हमारे जो हॉरोस्कोप्स होते हैं हमें उनसे क्या पता चलता है कि गेट टू नो अबाउट आवर फ्यूचर. हमारा फ्यूचर कैसा होगा ये हमारे हॉरोस्कोप में कहते हैं, लिखा रहता है. दैट इज व्हाट इज बिलीव्ड. सो हॉरोस्कोप्स टेल अस अबाउट व्हाट्स गोइंग टू हैपन इन फ्यूचर और इन लाइफ. So likewise, K.M. Munshi placed such kind of importance on the preamble that he said that preamble is a horoscope of our sovereign democratic republic. That is, हमारी जो रिपब्लिक है, जो सॉवरेन डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक ऑफ इंडिया है, उसका आने वाला कल कैसा होगा, उसकी फ्यूचर कैसा होगा, दैट इज ऑल आउटलाइंड इन द प्रियम्बल. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाट द प्रियम्बल टेल्स अस. ओके, सो नाउ कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट पर्सन जिनकी opinion value is important for you to know from an examination point of view, or वैसे भी about what he said about the preamble. So it is Sir Ernest Barker. Now Sir Ernest Barker, he said that preamble is keynote to the constitution. ठीक है, की नोट में होता है ना सब इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स जिस्ट बताई जाती है. किसी भी पॉइंट का अगर की नोट हो तो उसमें उसकी डिटेल, उसमें उसका क्रक्स बताया जाता है. सो लाइकवाइज ही सेड दैट preamble is a keynote to our constitution, right? Next is M. Hidayatullah. He is a former Chief Justice of India, M. Hidayatullah, right? He said that preamble is the soul of our constitution. Preamble is the soul of our constitution, जिसके ऊपर हमारी आने वाली future of our political society will depend. Soul हमारी आत्मा है. It is the soul. It is the very gist of our constitution. What? The preamble, on which the future of the Indian political society will depend. Yeah, it will rest on, right? So that is what these people said about the preamble. क्यों ऐसा कहा? Because of its extreme significance, because of its extreme importance to the people of India for the constitution, right? तभी ये सब जो ऑल दी स्टेटमेंट्स, ये जितनी भी स्टेटमेंट्स हैं, ये हमें तभी बताती हैं कि कितनी इम्पोर्टेंस थी उस वक्त के लोगों ने टू द प्रियम्बल, एंड टू दिस डे प्रियम्बल स्टैंड्स टॉल to define the values, to define the principles, to define the philosophy of our constitution. Okay, so then एक चीज आपको और याद रखनी है, as I've already told, that preamble अगर हम पढ़ लेते हैं तो हमें पता चल जाता है that what is present in the Indian Constitution. ठीक है, it gives us a concise idea about the entire Constitution just by reading the preamble. अब प्रियम्बल को इतनी इंपॉर्टेंस क्यों दी गई? हाउ वाज इट फॉर्म्ड? अब प्रियम्बल हम सबको पता है इट इज प्रेजेंट एट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का डॉक्यूमेंट है, इट बिगिंस विद द प्रियम्बल, बट द मेकर्स ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, द मेकर्स जिन लोगों ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाई थी, दे एक्चुअली फ्रेम्ड इट आफ्टर, उसके ऊपर जितनी भी डिस्कशंस हुई प्रियम्बल के ऊपर, ऑल द डिस्कशंस जितनी भी हुई, they took place after all the deliberations on the constitution had completed. That means जब जो constituent assembly थी उसने जितनी भी discussions करनी थी to form the constitution, जब वो discussions complete हो गई, जब वो बातें complete हो गई, जब वो उनकी deliberations complete हो गई, when the constitution was adopted, that was the time when discussions on the preamble had begun. Right? So even though it is, it forms the beginning of the constitution, but the discussions related to the preamble, they actually took place when the constitution was adopted by the makers of our constitution. Now why did that happen? Why did the makers of the constitution choose to discuss the preamble at the end or after adopting the constitution? Because they wanted that the preamble should be completely aligned, or you could say in complete conformity with the ideals of the constitution. ठीक है, और वो तभी पॉसिबल था अगर उस पर तभी चर्चा हो या तभी डिस्कशंस हो जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अडॉप्ट कर ली गई. राइट? So that is why the Constituent Assembly, they chose to hold any discussions on the preamble after they had adopted the Constitution. So that is very important part that you need to keep in mind, right? Now moving on to the next segment, that is, the next part is, मतलब प्रियम्बल के अंडर ही है अभी हम, वी हैव नॉट कंप्लीटेड दिस चैप्टर, तभी मैं इसको इरेज नहीं कर रही हूँ. द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स रेजोल्यूशन, राइट? नाउ प्रियम्बल हैज बीन अडॉप्टेड बाय द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स रेजोल्यूशन दैट वाज मूव्ड बाय पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू. On 13th December 1946, and it was unanimously, सर्वसम्मति से इसको अडॉप्ट किया गया था on 22nd January 1947. ठीक है, so preamble is actually drawn from the objectives resolution that was moved by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru on 13th December 1946, and it was unanimously adopted. The objectives resolution was unanimously adopted on 22nd January 1947, right? After a lot of deliberations, after a lot of debates took place about our fundamental rights, about the remedies that are against the fundamental rights, about the supremacy of the constitution, about various emergency provisions, about the role of God in the constitution. All these issues were discussed and debated upon at length before this resolution was moved, and that is how it was from this resolution that the preamble was taken or was derived, right? So what was the objective resolution? Objective resolution में क्या था, उसमें क्या, how does it read as? That is what I'm going to take up. तो हमारा objective resolutions क्या कहता है? Just let us just read it point by point to get more understanding, to get more clarity on the objectives resolution और कैसे it was instrumental ताकि उससे हमारा preamble निकल पाया, right? And how it was more important even for framing our constitution. Okay, so coming to the first point, it says the Constituent Assembly declares its firm and solemn resolve. It declares its firm and solemn resolve. कौन? The Constituent Assembly. ठीक है? To proclaim India as an independent sovereign republic, and to draw up for her future governance a constitution. Okay, so that is what the objectives resolution read as, right? The Constituent Assembly declares its firm and solemn resolve to proclaim India. The Constituent Assembly proclaims India as an independent sovereign republic, right? And to draw up for her future governance a constitution. Okay, number one. Number two, all authority and power of this sovereign independent India and organs of the government are derived from the people. So these 2 points are really important. That is, all authority and power of our republic, of our sovereign independent country India, and various organs of the government, they are derived from the people. Okay, the next point reads as various provisions like justice, equality of status, of opportunity before the law, freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, even vocation, association and action, they were all mentioned in the objectives resolution, of course subject to law and public morality. Then number 4, adequate safeguards to be provided for all the minorities, that is all the backward classes or the tribal people, right? All these minorities were to be given adequate safeguards in the constitution. The integrity of the territory of our republic and sovereign rights over land, that is sovereign rights, वो rights जिसपे किसी और country का हक नहीं होगा, and land, sea and air will be maintained, right? And lastly, India will make its contribution for the promotion of world peace and welfare of mankind, right? Welfare of mankind. So this is what the objective resolution read as. The drafting committee, जो drafting committee थी of the constitution, it actually made 2 minor changes to the objectives resolution. The drafting committee made 2 minor changes to this objectives resolution. Number 1, now instead of writing sovereign independent republic, so they changed it to sovereign. They changed it to sovereign democratic republic. So that was the first change, sovereign democratic republic, because they thought that the word independent is implied in the word democratic. Democratic है, so that means it is an independent country. So that is the first change the drafting committee made to the objectives resolution. Number 2, they introduced a clause on fraternity. ठीक है? They introduced a clause on fraternity to emphasize the need for more harmony, more fraternal peace, or more concord in the nation. Objective resolutions इतना important था, this was so important that it is also termed as the spiritual. It is also termed as the spiritual preamble to the constitution. क्या? The objectives resolution. It is also termed as the spiritual preamble to the constitution. In fact, it was given high respect by the Constituent Assembly because it stood for various constitution's values and principles, right? Pandit Nehru also said that preamble, the objectives resolution, it forms the foundation of our preamble. It forms the foundation of our preamble. So it was on 24th of January 1950, 2 days before our constitution was enforced, not adopted, was enforced. That is when the Republic of India came into being, or when the Constituent Assembly further ceased to exist any further. 2 days before, that is 24th of January 1950, out of 299 members of the Constituent Assembly, 284 members, they appended their signatures to the Constitution, the document of the Constitution. And you have to remember that 2 handwritten copies were signed. Constitution of India का जो original document था, that was neither printed or nor it was typed. ये handwritten document था, right? And one was in Hindi and one was in English. और इन्हीं दो documents पे sign हुए थे. Prime Minister Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, was the first signatory. He was the first signatory to the Constitution of India that was adopted. Then 46 signatories they signed in Hindi. 46 signatories of the Constituent Assembly they signed in Hindi, including the President Dr. Rajendra Prasad. उनमें से 15 women signatories भी थी. मतलब 15 women signatories भी ने भी sign किया था. And these were the women who had contributed in drafting of the constitution. So this is the importance of the Constituent Assembly, and ये कुछ facts हैं which will be helpful for you in your prelims and in your preparation. Another important thing that you have to remember, that being the president of the Constituent Assembly, जो Dr. Rajendra Prasad के signatures थे, they were assigned the topmost position. ठीक है, topmost position पे थे. Secondly, जो ये original copies हैं of the Constitution, they are kept in the libraries of our Parliament in helium-filled cases, right? So that is अभी भी वो preserved हैं, they are there and they can be found in the libraries of our Parliament. So that is now coming to the next part, that जो preamble का actual text है हमारे पास, ठीक है, वो हमें क्या क्या चीज़ें बताता है, उससे हमें हमारे Indian Constitution के बारे में क्या information या क्या knowledge मिलती है, right? So coming to the text of the preamble, and what do we actually learn from it, or we can say what are the ideas, what are the things that we learn from a preamble. ठीक है, so there are 4 basic things. There are 4 basic things that we get to know from the preamble. Number 1, that is source of authority. Source of authority of Indian Constitution. So that is number 1 thing that we get to learn from the preamble. That is source of authority of the Indian Constitution. Number 2, it is nature of the Indian state. Indian state या India as a country, जो क्या nature रहेगी, what is the nature of our Indian state, that we also learn from the preamble. Number 3, we get to know about the date of adoption of our constitution. So number 3, we get to know about the date of adoption of our constitution, that we also find from the preamble. Number 4 is the objectives of our constitution. All these things, all these 4 points, we come to know right from the preamble itself. So that is another reason why preamble is so important to the Indian Constitution. That is why it finds its place right in the beginning of Indian Constitution. That is why बहुत से experts ने different fields से इसके बारे में हमने जो discuss भी किया है, बहुत अच्छे वर्ड्स में इसको डिस्क्राइब किया है और इसके बारे में बताया है हमें, राइट। सो प्रियम्बल इज एक्चुअली द एसेंस ऑफ आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। उससे ही हमें हमारी सारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के वैल्यू सिस्टम का, उसके प्रिंसिपल्स का, उसकी फिलॉसफी का कंसाइज आइडिया मिल जाता है। सो इट इज़ रियली इम्पॉर्टेंट to know and understand every word of the preamble. As a student and as an Indian also, you should understand the preamble, you should understand the importance of the preamble, and you should try to, because now you are a student of and you're preparing for civil services, you should be very clearly be able to relate the text of the preamble to the constitution of the preamble. और ये आपने आंसर्स में भी आप बहुत सी जगह इसके टेक्स्ट को लेके आप सपोर्ट कर सकते हो दैट दिस थिंग शुड हैव हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू दैट इज बीइंग मेंशन्ड इन द प्रीएम्बल। वी डिस्कस इट लेटर कि आप एज एन हाउ वी कवर पॉलिटी एंड एज एन हाउ वी विल कवर वेरियस क्वेश्चंस साइमल्टेनियसली। तो मैं आपको बताती रहूँगी कि कैसे आप ये वर्ड्स को लेकर के अपने आंसर्स को सपोर्ट कर सकते हो। दे विल रियली वैलिडेट योर आंसर्स, दे विल ऑल्सो शो टू द एग्जामिनर दैट यू हैव नॉट जस्ट रेड द टेक्स्ट, यू हैव रियली अंडरस्टूड द टेक्स्ट एंड यू आर एबल टू रिलेट different parts of the text to the preamble, and you can really make sound judgment based on your knowledge. You can really apply your knowledge, right? So all these things can happen if you know the preamble well. So that is why I'm taking it very, very slowly, and I'm taking it very, very carefully and in details, right? So coming to each of these important points, that is what is the source of authority of the constitution. So सबसे पहले इसको discuss कर लेते हैं हम लोग। So preamble से हमें पता चलता है कि हमारी जो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है वो अपनी अथॉरिटी कहाँ से डिराइव करती है, राइट। सो इफ वी नो द प्रीएम्बल बिगिंस विद वी द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया, ठीक है, दैट इज हाउ द प्रीएम्बल बिगिंस। वी द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया हैविंग solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and then the preamble follows. So that's the first line of the preamble. अब इसमें आपको एक चीज़ का ध्यान रखना है that this phrase we the people of India has been borrowed or has been taken from the UN Charter, ठीक है। UN Charter से लिया क्या है? So we the people of India, आपको इसी से पता चल जाता है कि एक्चुअल सोर्स ऑफ अथॉरिटी कहाँ पे है। Where is it that the constitution is deriving its power from? We the people of India. So हम भारत के लोग, we solemnly resolved to constitute India. So it is by our effort, it is by our authority that we have taken this pledge to make India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, right? So the text itself makes it very clear. Now another important thing that you have to note is the last line of the preamble. The last line of the preamble, it reads as, in our constituent assembly. In our, I'll just write it down. In our constituent assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution, right? Do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. So this phrase, in our constituent assembly, again makes it very clear that it was the constituent assembly, it was the constituent assembly that has actually drafted the constitution. हमारी constitution को किसने draft किया? The constituent assembly, and these words, is written in the preamble itself. Okay, they have actually drafted the constitution, right? But they have also, derived their power from the people of India, right? So these, the members of the Constituent Assembly, these people, they are just representatives. They are just representatives of the people of India, who have, sent them in the Constituent Assembly to draft a constitution on their behalf. You're getting my point? So you need to really understand that the real source of authority, किसके पास आई फिर? It will rest with the people of India, because it is the people of India who have sent their representatives in the Constituent Assembly to draft the constitution. So the real power lies with the people of India. So who is the source of authority of Indian Constitution? It is the people of India. And how do you find that? Because that's the very first line of your preamble. The very first line with which the Indian Constitution begins. We the people of India, हम लोग, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India. Now with that comes the second point. Second point क्या था? Nature of Indian state. So that was the second point. हमारी इंडियन स्टेट की क्या नेचर होगी, हमारी इंडियन स्टेट कैसा होगा, या इंडिया एज अ कंट्री कैसा होगा. So that again comes from the very first line. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India, into a sovereign, I'll write it with a red pen, into a sovereign, socialist, secular. अब कुछ words were added later in the 42nd Amendment. We'll come to that later. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. So these lines or these words make it amply clear कि हमारी इंडियन स्टेट की जो नेचर होगी वो कैसी होगी. और ये वर्ड्स हमें कहीं और से नहीं, हमारे प्रियम्बल से ही पता चल जाते हैं. और इन्हीं वर्ड्स के बेस पे हमारी सारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का निर्माण हुआ है. हर एक क्लॉज, हर एक आर्टिकल actually embodies the spirit of these words, right? It does not go beyond the spirit of these words. अगर हमें किसी चीज़ की justification देनी होती है, even in the code of laws, they go back to the preamble to understand the meaning of a clause or an article which is not very clear at that moment by referring to the preamble. So that is why it is the soul of our constitution. That is why it is the very basic essence of the constitution. That is why it is the philosophy of our constitution. You understand? Because it also defines the nature of Indian state right in the very first line itself. Understood? Now coming to the third point, that is date of adoption. ठीक है. अब अगर मैं क्विकली बताऊं तो लास्ट लाइन में जैसे हमने अभी बात की, इट इज क्लियरली रिटन इन आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली, राइट. इसके आगे आता है दिस, in fact they've written it in words, 26th day of November, 26th day of November. This is written in words, right? 1949. So that again gives us the clear date. This gives us a clear date of adoption of our constitution. Now you have to remember, our constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949. 26th November 1949. But it was enforced on 26th January 1950. When was it enforced? Or when did India become a republic? On 26th January 1950. So this is the date of adoption, and this is the date when our constitution was enforced. When Indian Republic was born, when the Constituent Assembly ceased to exist. You understand? It ceased to exist. That is 26th of January 1950. Okay? Clear? So this date is mentioned in the preamble, the date of adoption of our constitution, but the date of enforcement is not mentioned in the preamble. Right? The date of enforcement is not mentioned in the preamble. That is the date when we celebrate the Republic Day every year in India. अब सवाल ये उठता है कि why 26 January? 26 नवंबर से लेके 26 जनवरी तक 2 महीने थे, तो इसके बीच में कोई और डेट क्यों नहीं चुन ली गई? और why not only 26th of November? Right? So what was so special about 26th of January that it was selected as the Republic Day, or it was selected to mark the birth of Indian Republic. So for that we need to go, I'm just going to erase this. We need to go back a little bit in history. Now we know that Indian freedom struggle चल रही थी, and in 1929, at the Lahore session of Congress, at the Lahore session of INC or Indian National Congress, at the Lahore session of Indian National Congress, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, उनकी प्रेसिडेंटशिप के अंदर, and together with Subhash Chandra Bose, they were opposing the members of the Congress who were pro the Dominion status. The Dominion status, that is, they wanted to accept the British monarch as the head of Indian state. Right? They were okay with this clause. So Pandit Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose came together and they were opposing this particular Dominion status. Right? So on 31st of December, 1929, ठीक है, 31st of December 1929, Pandit Nehru, he hoisted the tricolor, he hoisted a flag, the tricolor, right, and gave the resolution for Purna Swaraj. He gave the resolution for Purna Swaraj, right? And he demanded Purna Swaraj, and he said that the date for independence for the Purna Swaraj, at that time it was decided to be 26th of Jan 1930, right? एक महात्मा, तो जो हमारा पूर्ण स्वराज का ड्राफ्ट है वो ड्राफ्ट बनाया था पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने, और इंडिपेंडेंस प्लेज जो दिया गया था 26 of Jan 1930 को, जैन है ये, सॉरी, वो दिया था महात्मा गांधी. ठीक है, so you need to remember that will cover in history also. So this date for the next how many years? For the next 17 years. This date was celebrated as the Independence Day. ठीक है, because उस वक्त हमने पहली बार ये डिसाइड किया था that we want complete independence, हमें पूर्ण स्वराज चाहिए, हम डोमिनियन स्टेटस लेके नहीं खुश हैं. So since that time 26th January has been celebrated as the Independence Day for 17 years. Next 17 years till 1947, right? So that is why, to commemorate the importance of this date, 26th January was selected as the date of enforcement of our Indian Constitution, right? So that is why that day we declared ourselves a republic, right? And that is the day when the Constituent Assembly no longer existed. It ceased to exist further, So that is the importance of 26th January. But आपको ये याद रखना है कि ये डेट नहीं मेंशन है प्रियम्बल में. 26 नवंबर जब हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अडॉप्ट हुई थी, वो डेट है मेंशन हमारे प्रियम्बल में. ठीक है, एंड कमिंग टू द लास्ट पॉइंट, दिस वाज द थर्ड पॉइंट, डेट ऑफ अडॉप्शन. नाउ कमिंग टू द लास्ट पॉइंट, दैट इज ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. बहुत से ऐसे वर्ड्स मेंशन है हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, बहुत सी ऐसे clauses है. Fourth was objectives. Objectives of the constitution. तो बहुत से ऐसे words mentioned हैं in the preamble like justice, equality, fraternity, liberty. ये सारे हमारे objectives हैं हमारी constitution के, which are mentioned in the preamble itself. Okay, so that is why the preamble is so important for our constitution. So coming to the next part, wherein I will discuss the keywords of the preamble. I will discuss these words at length. Keywords, that is the words which comprise the preamble. वो जो main words हैं, sovereign, socialist, डेमोक्रेटिक, सेक्युलर, इन सब के व्हाट आर द मीनिंग्स, इन ब्रीफ आज हम इनको डिस्कस करेंगे. सो कमिंग टू द फर्स्ट वन, दैट इज, लेट मी पिक अप अनदर कलर्ड पेन, राइट. सो sovereign, what do you mean by sovereign? No, sovereign means that India is a free country. We are a free country. We are not dependent on any other country. हम किसी भी country पे dependent नहीं है, हम किसी भी country की dependency नहीं है, right? We are not a dominion of any other nation. That is, we do not report to the head of state of any other nation, to any other monarch, right? We are completely independent and we are completely free to take our own decisions, right? हम अपने सारे decisions both external और internal matters पे खुद ले सकते हैं. That is, हमें किसी की permission की ज़रूरत नहीं है to decide on these affairs in our country. We are completely independent, right? And we completely conduct our external or internal affairs. एक चीज जो आपको इसमें याद रखनी है वो ये है कि in 1949 India accepted, or you could say it continued to be a part of Commonwealth of Nations. So we continued to be a part of Commonwealth of Nations and we accepted the British monarch, that is the British Queen, as the head of the Commonwealth. But this particular clause had no impact on the sovereignty, had no impact on our sovereign status. It did not impact how we conduct our affairs externally or internally. We are still completely free to take our own decisions and we are a completely independent nation, right? So that is what we mean by sovereign. Okay, coming to the next word that I want to take up is socialist. Okay, again I'll write with a red pen. It is socialist. So now what do you mean by socialist? Now आपको पहले चीज ये याद रखनी है that the term socialist was already there in our constitution. It not directly but implied meaning says socialist was a part of the constitution. So it was implicit in our constitution, right? Hidden tha in other words which were already mentioned in the constitution, specifically in the DPSPs. DPSPs क्या होते हैं? Directive Principles of State Policy. ये हम आगे चलकर डिस्कस करेंगे. They fall under Article 36 to 51 of our constitution, or you can say Part 4 of our constitution. So the term socialist was implicit in the DPSPs, which are part of our constitution, right? Which are an integral part of our constitution. But DPSPs का एक ये point है कि they are neither enforceable by law or they are neither justiciable by law. That is, we cannot prove them in a court of law, right? So that is another thing, वो हम under the topic of BPSPs at length discuss करने वाले हैं. So for now you just remember that term socialist was implicit in our constitution under DPSPs, but in 1976 there came this 42nd amendment. With the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, the term socialist was made explicit. It was made explicit in the Constitution. It was explicitly mentioned in the preamble. Okay, so that happened with the 42nd Amendment Act. Okay, so you need to take that into note. Another thing which you should really remember is that हमारा जो socialism है, that is the socialism that we practice in India, इसे हम कह सकते हैं it is a democratic socialism. It is a democratic socialism. Now what do you mean by democratic socialism? By this I mean that this is a kind of a socialism which is a blend of Marxism and Gandhism, that is, we favor or we have faith in mixed economy. We have faith in mixed economy. That is, we believe that both the private and the public sectors, both the private and public sectors can coexist and are important for the economy, right? So that is democratic socialism. We have this socialism because we want to uproot the basic evils of the society. जो हमारे समाज में कुछ evils present है, like inequality, like economic disparity, right? So एक casteism, इन सबको eliminate करने के लिए, education देने के लिए, so for all those basic things we practice democratic socialism. In China, right? In China, they practice this form of socialism which is known as communist socialism. In China, they practice communist socialism. इसको state socialism भी कहा जाता है. क्या कहा जाता है? State socialism. ये भी बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ है, आपको पता होना चाहिए. अब चाइना में they don't believe in mixed economy, they don't believe in private sector, they believe that everything should be nationalized, everything should be under state control. So private properties का concept वहाँ नहीं है. So that is communist socialism. So that is a more stricter form of socialism. Okay. So that was the second word that finds mention in the current or the present day preamble, specifically after 1976 42nd Amendment Act. Okay. Now coming to the third word which I wanted to take up, or which finds place in the present day preamble, that is secular. कहते हैं ना, we the people of India solemnly resolve to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. तो हम वो सारे words के meanings discuss कर रहे हैं. Secular, again this was added by the 42nd Amendment, right? It was added by the 42nd Amendment to the preamble. इससे पहले अगर हम बात करते हैं Articles 25 to 28, I just want to confirm. Yes, Article 25 to 28, they give the guarantee. They guarantee the religious freedoms. They guarantee the religious freedoms in India. Articles 25 to 28. वो हमें ये guarantee करते हैं that we can practice our own religion. Various religious institutions भी allowed है. We can manage our own religious affairs. So we सब हम later discuss करेंगे. अभी के लिए आप ये देख लो कि हमारे जो ये articles हैं ये हमें religious freedoms guarantee देते हैं. but they are not they are not unbound. ऐसा नहीं, unlimited नहीं है. They are based that the state has to follow morality grounds होने चाहिए, और फिर कोई पब्लिक ऑर्डर डिस्टर्ब नहीं होना चाहिए. Nobody should be discriminated against. With keeping these clauses intact, we are given religious freedom. So that is one thing that has been promised by our state. And हमारा जो secularism है, it is known as positive concept of secularism या progressive secularism. इसमें state will not favor any particular religion, and every religion is given the same support by the state. So that is the form of secularism that we practice in India. Okay, so that is very important that you should know about this secularism. Coming to the next keyword, that is democratic. And again write it with a red pen. Democratic. Democracy अब two types की होती है. There are two types of democracies, right? One is direct and the other one is indirect. ठीक है. अब democracy होती क्या है? Where the supreme power lies in the hands of people, or you know they have, where people practice universal adult franchise. That is the kind of democracy India has, right? अब direct democracy क्या होती है? Where people directly exercise their powers, right? They directly exercise their powers. For example, like we have in Switzerland, right? अब direct democracy के four pillars होते हैं, four ways होते हैं to exercise direct democracy. Like we have referendum, then initiative, recall, plebiscite. These are four types of direct democracy. There are four organs, there are four wings of direct democracy. Indirect democracy, like we have in India. Here in India, we do not directly exercise our powers, but we do it by electing our representatives. By electing our representatives. So these elected representatives are sent to the parliament, and then they exercise, then they make laws on our behalf. So that is how democracy, indirect democracy functions in our nation and in nations like India. Okay, so India, अब indirect democracy भी ये further two types की होती है. One is parliamentary and the other one is presidential. So we follow the parliamentary indirect democracy. Okay, now coming to the next one, that is republic. Republic, this is IC. Okay, republic. Republic is a country where the head of the state, the head of the country is elected either directly or indirectly. ठीक है? Directly, like we have in USA, they have direct elections to their president. People directly elect their president for a fixed tenure. Right? And indirectly, like we have in India. Here we do not directly elect our president, but we hold indirect, presidential elections होती हैं. Again, the president is elected for a fixed tenure. Right? The other kind of democracy जो republic में ही होते, उनको हम क्या कह सकते हैं? Monarchies. Like we have in Britain. अब Britain में there is no president. There is no head of state as the president. but they now have the king. Initially they had the queen. So the king or the queen, they are the head of the state, and they are not elected by the people. They come by succession from one generation to the next generation, right? So that is known as a monarchy. So that they do not have, so Great Britain is not a republic, it is a monarchy in character. So coming to the next keyword. Next one is the justice. Justice. Now, as the name itself implies that justice in all forms. So किसी भी चीज में discrimination नहीं होनी चाहिए by the state towards its people. So in our preamble, justice को 3 forms में लिया गया है: social justice, economic justice and political justice. ठीक है, तीनों में ये बताया गया है that there will be no discrimination of any kind towards the people. जो social justice है उसमें ये बताया गया है there will be no discrimination based on color, caste, creed, religion, faith, etc. Economic justice में ये बताया गया है everybody will be given same level of opportunity of growth, right, and there will be no inequality or discrimination based on income or their level in society. Everybody will be regarded as equal before law, right? Finally, political justice में ये बताया गया that all citizens will have equal political rights. So इन तीनों को अगर हम साथ में लेते हैं, so ultimately यही आता है that there will be no discrimination of any kind towards people, right? So this is the ideal of justice that has been enshrined in our preamble and which is very important. And एक चीज आपको और देखनी है, when economic and social justice considered together, social and economic justice when they are considered together, तो उसको हम distributive justice भी कह देते हैं, ठीक है? And the ideals of justice in our preamble are being taken from, in our constitution are taken from Russian Revolution. It has been inspired by Russian Revolution. ठीक है? So that is one. Coming to the next keyword, that is liberty. As the name suggests that we are being given certain kinds of liberties by the preamble or by our constitution. ठीक है? तो ये कौन सी liberties है? The preamble ensures that all the citizens will have liberties of belief, faith, worship, expression and thought. So in सब चीज़ों की हमें liberty, it has been guaranteed by the constitution. It has been mentioned in the constitution. ठीक है? The next ideal is of equality. Equality again in all forms, like equality of status, of opportunity, is again guaranteed by the preamble, and also these guarantees are in the form of various laws in our constitution. And the last one which I want to take up today is fraternity. अब ये थोड़े simple है, that is why I'm just taking them like that. So fraternity is basically a sense of brotherhood. ठीक है? So our preamble promotes, or it states that there will be a sense of brotherhood in the Indian society, right? So ये क्या ensure करता है? Dignity of individual and unity and integrity of the nation, right? So what does it stand for? Dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. This again finds mention in the preamble itself. So thus our preamble is a very important part of our Indian ethos, our Indian philosophy, और जो हमारी philosophy constitution में enshrined है, उसका एक concise summary है, उसका एक concise idea हमें preamble से ही मिल जाता है, ठीक है। और अब इसको लेके preamble को लेके कई बार कई debates हुई हैं that whether it is a part of constitution or whether it is not a part of constitution, should it be considered with the constitution, अगर constitution का part नहीं है तो क्या उसे amend किया जा सकता था, और अगर है तो उसको कितनी बार अमेंड किया जा सकता है, बिकॉज वी ऑलरेडी नो वन अमेंडमेंट हैज बीन मेड। तो इस चीज़ को लेके देयर वर वेरियस केसेस जिनके बारे में आपको पता होना चाहिए, कौन कौन से केसेस हैं जो प्रियम्बल से रिलेटेड हैं, विच काइंड ऑफ जस्टिफाई दिस आर्ग्यूमेंट और विच काइंड ऑफ सपोर्ट दिस आर्ग्यूमेंट इट शुड बी अ पार्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और नॉट। वो हम एक सेपरेट वीडियो में फॉलोइंग जस्ट फॉलोइंग वीडियो जो होगा नेक्स्ट मेरा, उसमें मैं कवर करूँगी एट लेंथ, so that you have complete clarity of thought and you have complete clarity of should it be a part of the constitution or not, because although ये सारा ही topic important है, आपको constitution को समझने के लिए, आपको हमारी जो quality है उसका proper idea लेने के लिए ये तो important है ही है, which will be used in multiple times in your answers and all, but इससे जो एक और भी question बनता है that should it be a part of constitution or not, again this forms a very important discussion and an important part which can be asked in some form in your examination. तो उसलिए I will take it separately in the next video, right? So with this I bring my discussion on the preamble to a close, not a complete close because next video भी कुछ ना कुछ preamble से related ही होगा, and उसके बाद we'll move on to the main parts of the constitution, continuing with the polity series. And I will really appreciate if you just mark it down in the comment section how you found the preamble. Are there any doubts in your minds, कोई questions, कोई suggestions, anything you would want to put forth, please feel free to write in the comment section. I will make sure that I reply to each and every comment, and also do remember to subscribe for the channel and do remember to hit the bell icon so that whenever the next video gets uploaded you are notified, and please do like